Welcome. My name is Mahmoud Nabil. I'm Egyptian living in Saudi Arabia. I'm working as a sales executive engineer for cloud solutions dedicated for healthcare IT products. And today I'm presenting my final project for the course of Cloud Computing for Enterprises, CC605x on EDX, as part of the MicroMasters program. And my account name is MNITPRO, just for verification. Our agenda for this presentation will include the executive summary at the beginning, description of cloud computing, basic capabilities of the cloud, advantages and disadvantages of the cloud, and then we're going to discuss a business case with its components, like the economic implications, comparison between the on-premise and the cloud model, IT business needs, as well as the SWOT analysis, to end up with the conclusion of the decision that we shall make for this business case. So at the beginning, the executive summary, cloud computing adoption in the last 10 years has been more welcomed and more common trend in the enterprises. However, taking this step has a lot of considerations, advantages and disadvantages, as well as some economic implications on the short and long terms. With addressing and understanding all the IT business needs for a corporate, planning a proper SWOT analysis for the existing infrastructure and the futuristic required expansion, the adoption step will be more likely to be more accurate, fitting the needs, and will help the business owners decide whether it will be a great step to move fully to the public cloud or go with hybrid cloud or keep the on-premise as is. So what's cloud computing? Cloud computing is an internet-based computer of a shared pool of configurable resources like storage, compute, network, etc., and is provided on demand access. So, what are the basic capabilities of the cloud computing? Cloud computing has the potential to transform the IT industry and change the way how the enterprise IT is operated. Provided basic capabilities such as the being on demand, being self-service, broad network access, rapid elasticity, resource pooling, and measured service. Cloud computing also could deliver software only, which is known as SaaS, software and platforms, which is known as PaaS, or the whole infrastructure from the layer beneath this, which is the IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So these are the service delivery models. It's also known there are also different delivery models such as the serverless technology that has been in the market recently, which is providing function as a service or just a specific function or a specific back-end service as a service. With deployment methods like to be a fully private cloud or public, to be fully public, or hybrid, which is part of it is public, part of it is private, or to be using a community open source software. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of cloud computing? So the advantages, starting with the advantages, it's ease of use and upgrades. It's totally total responsibility of the upgrades is done on the cloud provider, so it's seamless. Low capex, which is the capital expenditure or capital expenses. There is no capital expenses just for some subscriptions for services at the beginning. There is no payment for real estate. There is no payment for hardware, software, or any of this stuff. Higher security, of course, there are some security approaches that being taken by the cloud providers that are highly and more professional than what would a local IT would do in a corporate. Agility, which is the very critical and hidden part or advantage of the cloud computing, where you can expand and you can be agile. You can transfer or transform your idea into a real product, benefit without getting into hassle of the limitations that your infrastructure provide. And the scalability, of course, if you can expand and add more storages as much as you can, if you need to expand in different regions or something like that. On the other side, the disadvantages, of course, the security is one of the biggest disadvantages because of the security breaches, maybe using insecure APIs, you're compromised for data loss, service hijacking, and some vulnerabilities. On the privacy, you have some concerns in the privacy if, in case of course, of using the multi-tenancy model of multi-tenancy model of deployment, that two companies have, or two clients have their information together in one hard disk or one server. So this multi-tenancy setup cause some privacy issues, as well as the backdoors engineering that could be done by the cloud provider as well, or sharing data with security agents, like what had happened with Apple and the FBI scandal, as well as the Google providing all our information to the government. Shift of control. All the control done on the whole infrastructure is out of your hands, is out of the corporate hands. It's totally the cloud providers. And at the end, the service disruptions. Whenever any downtime happens, you're not able to do anything. You're just waiting for the cloud provider to solve it, and then everything will be okay. So now we're gonna discuss the business case components. We shall discuss four main components for building a business case: the economic implications, including all kinds of expenses and its impact on the adoption; cloud versus on-premise comparison in different aspects; IT business needs and TCO, ROI, and all that stuff; and finally the SWOT analysis, collecting all the previous information into one chart for better understanding and helping the decision making. So, first, the economic implication. I have applied the economic implication. I used the scenario that we have that was in the course, in the lab course in week 5, I think, or week 4, as this would be my company scenario or my company case. So I used 3 total cost of ownership calculators. I used Microsoft Azure, Amazon, and Oracle, and these were the results. Of course, we see here the compute is the blue, storage, network, and IT labor as been shown in the graph. As we can see here that Oracle is the least one, Microsoft is the higher, and Amazon is in the middle. So it's well known that AWS is cheaper than Microsoft, but however it's more reliable than Microsoft. They have been in the market of the IaaS from a long time. Microsoft, on top of this IaaS, they provide SaaS and PaaS. So if we are considering any kind of expansion in the future using Microsoft products, it would be good from now to choose Microsoft Azure. And Oracle, of course, they are the recent player in this IaaS market. They are competing at lower prices to gain market share. They have hired Google Cloud star Peter Magnuson as the company's senior vice president overseeing the public cloud business. And their trend, or the idea of moving into the IaaS platform, is they need to provide the platform for their services that they are providing to customers as PaaS or SaaS. So the total, without breaking down, we see here that AWS $1.3 million and Azure is $1.5 million and Oracle is $962K. So if you move to the comparison between the cloud and on-premise, we will see here some items. If we talk about the hardware and software, we'll see the totally under the cloud vendor's responsibility. Unlike on the premise, it's all being paid upfront, and it is the whole responsibility of the corporate itself. Provisioning, you have dynamic and elastic provisioning in the cloud, and it will be based on real and actual demand of the required resources. Unlike on the on-premise, you just make some estimations on your peak times, and you will have most of the time idle resources not being used and optimized well. IT staffing, of course, IT staffing for the cloud, it will be much less in number of employees, but they have to have some cloud skills, especially when you are talking on security on cloud, PaaS and IaaS. These are some specific skills, domain-specific skills that are required to be in the IT staff. On-premise, of course, we have a huge IT team for all kind of operations and functions, like the network operations, NOC, server engineers, storage engineers, data center engineers, and etc. CapEx. It's very limited capital expenses in the cloud, as it's the pay-as-you-go model. You don't pay any kind of power or cooling or real estate, telecommunications, unlike the on-premise. Even if you were on a co-location, so you will pay for some stuff in there. On the other side, the OPEX, of course, the OPEX will be somehow higher in the cloud computing because you have some annual subscriptions, some cloud professional services you are paying for, and for the on-premise you have the SLA, which is the service level agreements for your hardware and software to be maintained. Finally, the savings, the improved agility from moving to the cloud to fit the business needs to grow revenue. This is totally not available in the on-premise model. You don't save anything in the on-premise model. You pay everything in advance. So calculating the IT business needs. We have here on the AWS, I've compared the cloud versus the on-premise. If I go with cloud and if I go on-premise, this is used by Amazon Calculator. And the ROI was based on the function of gain from investment minus cost of investment divided by the cost of investment. So from this graph, we see that the ROI found to be almost 49%. If you took some other items that are hidden in the consideration, like the real estate, which is not mentioned in the AWS calculation, as well as the improved agility and less risks to security breaches, okay, all this stuff can be added and we can end up with 65% return on investment. And this brings up to the final step of the SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis, of course, is 4 parts: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we will see that each strength is aligned directly with an opportunity and threat. So for example, our organization is wealthy and they are willing to invest in expansion. And the scalability that AWS will provide us will help to reach more potential customers. But on the other side, we have been recently awarded with a lot of projects, and we are short in IT staff. And the existing IT staff, of course, as well, needs to be qualified in cloud computing as well. The threats here that the service disruptions might affect our customers' experience if we expanded with a non-reliable cloud provider. We might face some service disruptions, and this will mess up everything. The second strength that we have is the powerful, diversified R&D team, and the agility that Amazon provides via the Amazon Dynamo. And I have read the full article about the Amazon Dynamo that was provided during the course. And Dynamo is the kind of elastic infrastructure and dynamic infrastructure that allows the utilization of resources at the best and optimum usage to allow some services for having 24/7 real uptime without zero downtime, like the pick list and the shopping cart and all this stuff. They were discussing that this kind of Dynamo infrastructure allows them to have all these kind of services available all the time. So our powerful R&D team will get their ideas quickly developed and quickly deployed and quickly sent to the public customers. But however, our R&D team are not quite familiar with Oracle products. They are more familiar with Microsoft SQL, and this might be a concern using some Amazon products. And the competitors, some of our competitors have been in the cloud computing for 6 months right now, so we are behind them. Finally, the well-established information security policy or sharing policy of information to protect our company's data it's a very well-established policy, but however it's very restricted in the information governance. So this aligns with the threat that of the security breaches and the multi-tenanted systems, and this will be anti our company policy. However, on the opportunity level, Amazon among the competition has proven their high security precautions and deep implementations of the security actions. Finally, we're gonna reach this conclusion that moving to cloud for our organization will positively impact 49 to 65% in our savings. However, taking into account the recurring investment on the existing on-premise infrastructure, I would recommend to go with hybrid cloud system or the public cloud, but on a long term, more than 3 years that I have made all the calculations on it. And these are the references that I have used during the whole preparation of this course. And thank you very much for your time, and bye.